so we are live now. We got to put out some text. Okay, we posted some text. All right, fellas, I'm going to move to a different channel, and you guys can continue to talk, of course, and good luck to both of you. All right, so we are now in the position where we're going to be kind of watching these guys play here. Let's get a couple of other camera angles so we get to see some stuff. And so put that. Okay. All right. So it appears this is the best 2 of 3 between Rando Mando and Darteo77. He's our young fella in the competition. On Rando's side, he's operating the Leia Figrin Grease mill deck with ace pilots, and on the other side we have a different kind of support deck, which is essentially mono yellow but runs Sai Snoodles and Fennec Shand as kind of the big guns, relatively speaking, and Figrin Dan is a kind of the support character. It is a yellow villain, mono yellow villain deck. Even though it's got 2 neutral characters, of course, Sai Snoodles being the villain. Sai Snoodles has a pretty interesting power action, removing 2 charm tokens from an exhausted character to roll 1 of that character's character dice into your pool. And that's particularly significant because, of course, Leia has a similar kind of power action that removes 2 charm tokens. And that is an important piece of the puzzle for the Leia deck in particular. And so it'll be interesting to kind of see what sort of happens here and the kind of charm battles that ensue. We do see in the starting hands here, over on one side, we've already seen the Moisture Farm go up. It's got the Den of Thieves, which will be useless. Trick and Charm Offensive are great for him. And then Smash is going to, of course, is always a pretty good card to have around. On the other, he's got the Commander Raid, the Utility Belt, the Slice Terminal, which is a bit unusual, but I like the card a lot. Nobody tends to use it very much, but it's pretty cool. Lola, Electroshock, and a Utility Belt. So the Den of Thieves does have at least one use, which is to make sure and get rid of one of those 2 discard sides, perhaps. And it does take out the Charm Offensive here. Pretty wild. Yeah, it's be interesting to see kind of how this proceeds. The power of this Leia deck is that by basically making it a predominantly 1-cost deck, Grease almost never misses, and thus enables the Leia to just get you know, the 4 discard pretty frequently as a result. It's interesting that basically neither of them have even used a resource yet. I would say that probably one of the trickier aspects of this whole proposition is that the Slice Noodles deck is going to have a bit of a difficult time actually like dealing just a ton of damage, because it doesn't, it's not going to be able to take any damage advantages out of the charm stuff from the opponent's side. He basically has to use his charm ability defensively here. Oh, and it's also notable that Figrin Dan also has a remove 2 charm token ability, so that kind of turns off Leia even more so at this point. So yeah, I think this is pretty interesting kind of as a matchup overall, and it'll be interesting to see kind of what ends up ensuing from this type of matchup. I don't recall what the other battlefield was, at least in the starting one. In the start, though, Undercity was used. I would bet it's Command Center, if anything. But the Undercity is a pretty good option in this case. So welcome to all of our viewers this evening already. We got a few in. We got some Davey here in the house, and Rebel Trader, Philippels, and Holites Carmen. Welcome. And yeah, those heart charm tokens are pretty cute. Pretty cute. I would think that Darteo really is trying to, you know, build some board state here that he just hasn't been able to get to yet. Although he's trusting very much in, like, the Slice Noodles really can run rampant here because, you know, they're not going to take damage. You know, unlike in mini decks or damage decks, Slice Noodles would pretty easily be the first card gone after.
Battery critical.
Oh, that is my battery critical on my. I don't know if you guys heard that, but let's plug my wireless headset in here.
Charging battery.
Thanks, Corsair headphones.
Charging battery.
Yeah, shut up. So, Rando is definitely trying to kind of think up what he needs to do with this, and because he kind of is in the driver's seat right now, given that there's just not a lot that Darteo has been able to do thus far. It's also kind of notable that one of the fun little tricks of the deck is that Ace Pilots charging Davy's battery. That's good. Now charging Davy's battery. He knows where he gets his power. So that's one of the interesting little tricks of this kind of Ace Pilots deck is taking, you know, either like Anakin's Pod Racer or some small vehicle and you know, kind of pumping that up a bit more. Definitely wants to see, prefers to see that with, say, you know, the Anakin's Pod Racer, since that has like multiple ways of getting extra discards, and so more dice means more discard. Slice Terminal is, of course, pretty wild, and people underestimate the power of Slice Terminal. It can sometimes be a you know, kind of a shot in the dark whether or not it's going to work, but you know, in a lot of cases it can be a pretty brutal effect. I've likened I like it in it's one of its best features was actually in some older Gen Han decks, because you were already denying them cards, and so if you had extra knowledge of hand, you could be relatively sure that by getting rid of, say, you know, some card that they wouldn't really have a better option in their hand. He does go ahead, so he's going after Figrin first just to try and take a guy off the table, which I can't really blame him for that. So let's just take a quick look here and where we're at. So in the lost pile over here, 3 cards in lost pile, 25. So there really wasn't much in the way of milling done, and 5 damage being done on the other side. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a pretty interesting and reasonable opportunity for Darteo to kind of potentially take advantage of here. This is definitely a weird matchup, and so we'll see what happens. In Darteo's case, he does have some 3 big cards in his hand, so he would be quite happy to put one of those out, have it denied, and then just get to play the one. So he kind of wants to probably put out his second most favored card. Yeah, so actually, so he's probably, I would think that he's probably trying to, you know, do something like, he really wants to put out the Vibrasword, and so he's kind of hoping that Rando kind of denies him that with the Slice Terminal. And see what happens there. He probably wants the modal nodes. he probably wants to be able to play the modal node. So he might have actually chosen that because it's his least desirable 3 cost there to try and bait him into it. And but I wouldn't, you know, if you're random Mando here, do you take that bait? It's a good question. Looks like he may not be taking the bait. Obviously, we don't know what the conversation is going. Well, definitely not taking the bait there. Certainly is interesting. So, what are we seeing here? So he's distributing the charm tokens in order to try and... Oh, that's interesting. So he's going to sacrifice 2 of his 3 cards for that? I guess that's really his only option. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was his only option. Interesting. So he loses the modal nodes and the harvest there. All he's got left is the Vibra Sword, which, you know, he kind of wants. He kind of wants to keep that. On the other side, Rando does have... I mean, he has a first aid in his hand that can help him a little bit, but not for figuran's sake, at least. Electroshock and Indifferent are kind of interesting. 1 cost, and then that is a Hold the Line. The roll in looks like one of my classic favorite rolls. Double blanks. Grease didn't even need to do much with this. He almost doesn't care what he rolls. He's going to call the 1, of course, since he's got a 1 deck, and hits the battle tactic. So does he even need to flip anything? It's like he almost doesn't care. Does he just want the resources? No, I mean, he might just want to go ahead and discard here. Or at least threaten to discard. Look at that. Alright, so you... Yep, discarding. Now, if he's smart here, he goes right after doing the 2 disrupt, right? Nope, he is going straight after Mr. Figurin. Doesn't want to give him the opportunity to get value. There's the blankety blank. Look at this. So he's basically spreading the charm tokens out everywhere, knowing that he doesn't really, and maybe it doesn't really matter. That he won't realistically be able to use either of the power, like his lay of power action, to do particularly interesting things. Yeah. Yeah. Charm is an option, and Darteo knows he doesn't have to do it. I'm surprised he's not disrupting, though, because 2 disrupt's a pretty powerful thing, and plus he's going to be able to roll that back in. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. He may just want to make sure he gets damage, but still. I don't know. Does he think he's going to, you know, try to push into getting a resource? I don't know. So we can maybe resolve and draw with the moisture farm. Max, I don't know if that's a great idea, but I mean, I guess you would prefer to use the power action from the Relby on a Figurin die than Finic blank. So, okay. So he's saying, I'm just going to go straight after Figurin, but this is going to result in, here you go, here's your Electroshock. I feel like he might should have used that indifferent over there since instead of electroshock, since indifferent is dependent on seeing a neutral character. Yep. Once again, no charm with figuring. Oh, man. Okay. What's he thinking here? He's got the option. That indifference going to burn a hole in his hand. Hold the line is not particularly useful to him. I mean, I guess it could be. It does get him a shield. First aid's nothing. Commander raid is nothing. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking. Well, while we're waiting on them to take an action, let's welcome some of our additional people here. We got some Castero, Beacon, Drapsnat, Rogue Girl. Welcome to the show. Finally resolves the 2 disrupt. Arguably one of the best, maybe the best side on that card when usable. Removes his figuring die to get back the Relby. Let's go. And hits the resource. So that can be resolved with Moisture Farm. Draw a card. Let's see if he gets something out of it. You heard maybe he just says, nah, I don't want to get it discarded. He might say that. I mean, he's definitely not going to discard it himself. And if there's not really a use for it, then it's kind of like what's the point of risking the discard? Just making sure that it doesn't matter. Okay. Now since he's claimed, it doesn't matter. Oh, he gets the Cad Bane Blaster, which is actually playable here. I don't think you can make it elite without it actually being on Cad Bane. Yeah. So he plays it for 1. Another cheap die that you can leverage to get more of them. The Relby Mortar Gun, if desired. That card is, yeah, 1 unblockable as a special. Play this on Cad Bane, and yeah, okay, yeah. All right. Let's see. In our hands this time around, Modal Nodes is back. There's another Relby, Smash Greed, Moisture Farm, and then over on the other side, we see he's deciding what he's going to do here. He discards that Hold the Line. That Hold the Line is a... Oh, that's not the shield one. My bad. That's Maintain Position. This is... Yeah, if they have more dice in their pool than you, then you get to remove a die. So, once again, we're still at that indifferent battle tactics commando raid. Now we see the second utility belt and a K3PO. So let's go back up to our bird's eye view here. And as usual, he's going to activate Leia first, then Grease, and then try to focus those into big sides. And if anything, he's kind of got to roll in Fennec here if he wants to even approach using that smash. But with this placement of a charm token, he kind of has to use his power action next. Now, it's likely, I would think that he would put it on Figrin, because Figrin's power action is not inherently particularly powerful when the dice is not in the pool, and right now he's got nothing in the pool, so there's kind of a disadvantage there. But he's actually going to open himself up to a Leia power action. Wow. Okay, so it just rolls a a pretty reasonable roll here of a total of 5 damage off the top. He doesn't. It actually is not super helpful for him to do this. So that's that. He's that had ambush, so now he gets to remove that die, and he gets to do the play off of the pile. And oh, he says, top deck's a 3, which means he's going to lose 3 cards, and so he loses a couple of an offense or a charm offensive, the vicious tactics, and some other card that I missed. All right, gets a resource. Yeah, but now he gets to do that power action though. Like if he rolls a damage, then he gets to deal a damage. Otherwise, you give this character a shield, so he gets a shield for it. But that'll enable him to play the second Relby if he can keep it long enough. And he calls for the 1 and hits the Ula, so he's going to focus to double 2s, which is rude. So, yeah, that's kind of an awkward place to be in. It seems like you almost wanted to have done the focus so that you can maybe potentially use that smash here. But now he's going to lose 4 of his 5 cards. Not sure what he's doing. Of course, I don't know why he wouldn't do the charm now. That would actually help him. He should do the charm, and so that he can use the Sice Noodles power action. Now he might still choose to do it on the Figrin. I mean, that would be the logical thing to do at this point, is to, Sice Noodles charm somebody, then Figrin charm somebody. Since that power action has been used, this is the opportunity to like use up the stuff. So like if he had put a charm on Sice Noodles right now, he could have actually doubled his output of Psy for this round. But I think he's forgetting the fact that like that's because Leia's already been used. He's in pretty good stead. Like it's like he can eliminate more charm off the board. Okay, so he does realize that he could have rolled that in, because again, Figrin has to remove 2 to do that particular character's die. So now he's basically going to be able to use the power action from psi to roll psi in, but then won't be able to use the figuring to double the output again. So all right, well, at least he gets his 2 out of it. Okay, so he goes ahead with beginning to deal Leia some damage. There is a claim at that point, meaning he can fire at will. There's not much to fire, but really what he needs to do is moisture farm here. No, nope, 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 nope. What's going on? I'm confused as to what happened there. I have no... Huh? That doesn't re-roll. You remove a die to roll it into the pool. I guess, did he get the resource and I just didn't see it? Okay, well. I mean, that's his option. I can't really do... Well, I think I don't know what it was thinking in terms of just... Like, because he did the power action right on the Relby the previous round, so why did he do it that way? I'm just not really sure what happened there. Alright, here's Leia rolling in. Okay, so this is... Does he see that this is a Cy Snoodle's opportunity right now? Okay, well, not really, but he's going for the headstrong first. But that's cool. I mean, now I don't know if that's a good play, though, considering that this is immediately power action. And if he hits a high card here, like, that's... Well, okay, mad about me. So he only loses 2 cards out of it, but he could have lost upwards of 5. I mean, I don't know. Given that he didn't have any other removal, I can kind of see that that's optional. But, like, I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard one. That's a real hard one, I guess, when it comes down to it. It's also interesting that he didn't even slice terminal that. I mean, I guess it was because it wasn't, like, the bestest. Oh, that's kind of fun. So... Yeah, again, let's see if he recognizes that he can just keep going with those charm tokens now. Grease coming out. Focus! There's 1 discard already. Hits the 1. Let's see. There's a discard there. There's a resource there. Why are you doing this? Okay. So now he's going to resolve. Nope. No, that's not the way it works. Is that the way it works? Okay. Apparently that, I mean, that would have suggested quite, I don't know. That, I'm not sure about that. I thought we even discussed that in the rules section recently. I thought it was. Well, okay. Hmm. All right. Yeah, we discussed it recently, but I don't think that I felt that that was an answer that was particularly satisfying. Anyway, moving on. I mean, that would suggest just put all your tokens like right on Leia. Just steal those dice. Force Leia to use her own power action. I mean, that would be that to me. Like that's like gotta be a thing you should do. I didn't realize that. Oh, come on, dude. Don't do that. All right. What you thinking? Battle tactics here? Oh, okay. Interesting. Sure. Hmm. So this game is looking like it's going steadily to Rando here at 23 cards already in the loss pile. He's got a terrible board. This is making. I mean, he's got a long ways to go. Darteo does, and to try and get that much damage. But okay. Hmm. I mean, is there any hope at all for Darteo at this point in this particular game? Like, the Slice Terminal basically deals with the worst card that's going to come out. He's got three other cards and no real like damage on these two characters at this point. I think it's pretty hopeless. Okay. So if he's doing this kind of the right way, then he should probably look toward um, using the Relby and the CAD gun first, but he doesn't. The reason he should do that is that if he's going to use the power action on the Relby, which he doesn't. Okay, see, I figured he would want to use the power action on the Relby to put the Relby back out there, and then he doesn't have to resolve the base side. So if he rolls the +3, he could get an additional 3 damage. But he chose the resources, which doesn't seem like that's exactly the way you'd want to go with that. But okay. All right. Well. All right. Well. Here goes nothing though. I mean, the other thing that didn't happen there was that there were 2 charm tokens on Leia, and he could have at least, you know, wasted those on her. I don't know. I mean, he headstrongs here. I guess that's fine because that's going to prevent, you know, some measure of discard. But like he absolutely should just slice terminal that. Like he doesn't need to do he doesn't need to let that happen. But like he doesn't know that that's going to result in, you know, in playing the MK here, but like I don't see that that's really a big problem. He's got all sorts. Like he can commando raid right here and just eliminate the hand. He's got no rerolls, and I don't think he has the capacity to hit 6. You know, what is it? Grease has 8, so he's got 15 health left, and then max he gets out of that is 3, 6, 7, 8. I guess that 14, 16. He theoretically, if he maxes entirely, maybe he's okay. But like he has to hit everything on, and just to like he has to hit a lot of things right in order to make it out of here. And he still has removal in his hand. He's got first aid. Like he's got stuff he can do. Including use his own Leia power action. Okay. Yeah. So that just took that away and didn't do anything. And if he, you know, he can just call for a 1 here. Whoops. Call for a 1. Flip to resource. So he just takes the resources and just rocks and rolls. All right, fellas, let's go. I guess he keeps the shield here. But beyond that, like actually even using the 2 power or the 2 charm ability on Leia there as opposed to his own character means that he's actually reduced his potential damage capacity. He did hit the 2 off of Sice Noodles though. But with no rerolls here, he's got to hit pretty much everything right. Yep, that's just removing that to no effect. Since he can. Nope. That was... Okay. Yeah. Yep. There's first aid. And see, you know, I think he kind of has to... You got to remember sometimes that you need to take care with your base sides. It's possible to strand things if you don't want them. And he didn't have... Like, this is a pretty good... You've got to be kidding me.
Charging battery.
He almost... He hit... What the heck? What the heck? Remember how I said you have to basically hit max? He almost hit max. That's 12 damage. It's not enough, especially with the first aid, but it's like that's near max damage. Yeah, you can automated defense here and get rid of like something, but that's just mind-blowing how good of a roll that was. My gosh. Yep. Good. All right, moving on to game 2. Yep. All right, so they're gonna get on to the game 2 here. Something, something, only the good die young. Let's see. Destiny Jr. asked what game this is. That was the end of game 1. Platform says lol. Yes, exactly. Welcome to our other viewers of the night. We got Alisadra joining us, Casero, Commander Root, Jehodemoon. All right. What up? All right, everybody. Here we go. So, let's see what we get here. Rando's keeping a utility belt and a first aid. We'll see what he gets. On the other side here, he's still choosing. He's going to keep Vibro, Modal, and Smash, maybe. Gets back another utility belt. That, what is that card? Fastest Hunk of Junk and Indifferent. Kept the Smash, the Trick, and the Vibro. Got another Trick and a Cad Bane Blaster. So he's going to be trying really hard to get out that Vibro in this first round. That could make a big difference. He doesn't have to roll. What? Wow. Okay. I was like, why is it when the rolls don't matter is when you guys roll blanks? Wish that were true in... okay. It's like, I'm going to flip them to the sides I like. All right. So he does choose the Undercity again. Since he was a losing side, he gets to choose his own battlefield if he wants. Game 2 commencing. Law of equivalent exchange, Destiny Jr. says. Yeah, if you insist. I don't think that's a thing. What the heck is law of equivalent exchange anyway? Is that even I've never heard of that before. I don't think that's a law. Oh well. All right, so we've already seen a trick come out and deal with one of those lay of dice, but now you can't use the second trick for it since it's on a 2, and it doesn't make any sense to go after the 1 discard. So he rolls out and hits a resource. So he's going to lose that Vibro. You know, if he had rolled in the, you know, one of the, again, you got to think about your sequencing sometimes. If he had rolled in Figurin and hit that resource first, might have been able to have a better shot of getting out that Vibro Sword. Gotta give yourself as many chances to win as you can. All the chances. Discard. You know, again, I think that, you know, if Sice Noodle's working the way she does, which I did not realize, it seems like that the logical thing to do would be to just put all of your own charm on Leia and just kind of force that, so that whenever he uses his power action, you can just roam free. and just like, and you'll always be using at least one power action to turn on Leia, and like either removing that die or getting extra value. But you got to extract value where you're trying to here. The indifferent gets rid of the damage. Okay, it says I'm gonna re-roll that CAD. Nope, that's the one. Yep. Reroll the CAD blaster die. Hit the +2. Yep, dealing a damage to Figrin. Focus here. He's got no money, so he's gonna just have to go after this. Does he have? He doesn't have anything to ultimately. Yeah, so he avoids going after Leia because he is concerned about the first aid, which is in Rando's hand, of course. He's going to avoid taking the resource in order to claim? Okay. Whoa. Be easy there, fella. All right. It would seem like you'd want to try to maximize your resources here, even at the expense of the claim. I guess there is a bit of a tempo problem with the potential for Leia putting a charm on your dude, and thereby making it. I mean, you kind of have that problem regardless of whether Leia is first or not. Uh-huh. The charm offensive he has in his hand is very useful here because that kind of enables that he can just go back down to one charm on somebody and remove a Leia die, but doesn't really need to. Wow. Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, RT.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great.
This is an interesting matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
I,
I'm not sure why Rando went with Figure and Dan over Max, Rebo, or Anakin. I think he's just worse than both those.
Well, I don't know.
I guess he won game one.
Yeah, he did win game one pretty handily. But I feel like Darteo is playing a little inefficiently, especially with the I didn't realize that the Sice Noodles power action worked quite the way it did. It would suggest then that the optimal play that like almost immediately I think you just have to say I'm going to put all the charm tokens that I produce on Leia, so that the moment that Leia uses either claims or uses her power action, that you're always able to like get some extra value out of that.
Yeah, I think, and I don't think this is a good reason, but I think his reasoning is probably that he doesn't want to give him the ability to figure him down on the discard side.
Oh, okay, that would make sense. I guess that does make sense. But like, yeah, okay. Then again, if you're constantly like, the moment that Leia rolls in, if you can just remove two charm tokens off Leia and steal one of the dice, like that seems pretty good.
Yeah.
So maybe not all the charm tokens, but like constantly put pressure on Leia to like, Leia has to perform. All right, rolls the first +2 resource of the game. Sai has been rolling like nothing but damage all like for the last game. So,
Did he charm?
I don't think he
forgot 4 tokens total.
Charm's optional, and he's been passing on charm multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's that's why I was actually kind of like surprised to realize, like, I mean, I expected him to, not knowing how Sice Noodles worked, for me at least, I expected, okay, yeah, he's going to pass on charm a number of times because he's going to save those power actions just to like block Leia. Overall, but but with the way it works, apparently, like I just want to put charm tokens on Leia. Just steal her dice. I didn't look at the list beforehand, but is Darteo actually playing much in the way of supports at all? Because it doesn't seem like it. I didn't see anything other than Den of Thieves, which is kind of surprising. I mean, considering that this deck kind of would want that, it would seem. Okay, so it's also I don't know if you saw his final rollout of the game. Last game, I was noting that it was absurd. Well, he had one scenario in which if mistakes were made, basically, that like he might have a winning run if he could basically roll max, and he basically rolled max on a rollout. Like he rolled 12 natural damage, and it still didn't work, but it was a lot. We may have already lost RT. All good. And once again, has a monster rollout, but he doesn't have the resources to take full advantage of it. Good lordy mercy. This child. Impressive. I mean, that's like, that's a good rollout. That's like pretty huge. Sequence it right, baby. You can do it. Disrupt now. Actually, should take the resource, but he's wait, what? Oh yeah, he can do that because he has ambush. Oh wow. Nice. That's actually pretty sick. So Anakin Skywalker's pod racer over there has ambush, so he plays it, has the ambush action, ace pilot actions, makes it elite. That is a huge, huge bit. Once again, I don't think that's the right way to sequence that for now. Okay. So, let's see what he ends up doing here. I guess he probably, I mean, he can reroll with the Fennec power action on the, oh wow, there's 3 shields. So Fennec power action to reroll the Relby. And then, all right, dude. Yeah. Takes a couple shields out of it. He's going to get...
Hear me?
Now I can. Yep.
That was weird. For a second, like, I could hear you.
Yep.
And my mic working, but the internet connection wasn't. And, like, my ping was all at 999, but everything was moving smoothly. I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, I blame your computer.
Yeah, that's...
Interesting series of kind of events there. Ends up just getting, like, he just kind of got he got 6 damage out of it, and I guess that's good. He ended up having to use both his resources though, and he didn't use the Relby power action, which I don't know, maybe that's still optimal here, but it's okay. Could have been better, could have been worse. But Figurin's off the table, obviously, for Rando's side, as before.
We got a decent chunk of damage into Leia.
Yep, that is true. And now he gets to question whether or not he's going to, you know, hate his life by headstronging here and then getting power actioned away. That is his
Has he already activated all of his characters?
No.
Okay. They're just all exhausted.
Oh, hits a vicious tactics. Wow. Okay. So just a nothing off the top then. So that apparently was the right play. We didn't know, but off the top with the Leia power action hitting a 0. Feels good when you're on the receiving end of that.
Yep.
But you never know. That seems like one of those circumstances, like he might have wanted to play the Lola in his hand first. and so you could maybe take a look at what that top card is and maybe put it at the bottom. That's kind of what the point of Lola is.
That's what the card does.
That's what it's supposed to do. But tempo-wise, I could see why you might want to activate early, but still. Got to extract all that value. This is going to get fun, though. Activating agrees with the utility belt into an Anakin Skywalker's pod racer with that's elite. Oh, sure, I'll focus 2 things into extra discards. Would you like extra discards with that? Grease goes out for takeout.
Unfortunately, no Anakin to allow the extra discards from hand, but
Yeah, but you know, like he's got enough, and that may be why he chose not to use Anakin, because he's got enough discard sides already that like he kind of wants to attack the deck a little more. Because remember, if you've got Anakin, you can only go from hand. So
how was that?
How is that? That's the rule.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
So we get a request for how many cards left in deck. There are 11 cards left in deck and 1 in hand. So he's got maybe 1 more turn out of this if he's doing okay. He might actually take this. Like there's a good, there actually is a shot that Darteo has on this particular. He's got enough damage on Leia right now that like that may be all right for him.
Let's see if we can roll like he did on that last game.
Oh yeah, if he rolls like he did on the last game, like, this can be a he'll be fine. But I don't know what he's thinking. Is he considering his options of like what he might do to take that grease die or something? That's not very good for him. Again, it's like, especially now that the figurin's gone, and that's another thing that happens. Like once figurin is gone from Rando's side, then like again, put the charm tokens on Leia and just abuse her.
Yeah.
That sounded really bad. I should not have said that.
Charm her. Okay.
Charm her. That's it. Yes, yes, yes. All that Darteo has in his hand is a worthless den of thieves right now. So he's kind of, man, seems like he really wants to try and. Okay, so Rando did not hit a discard there, which gives him a bit of an opening right now if he really like he. No, what are you doing? No, brother. Tempo. Okay, he's taking that die to do something. Oh, there's a discard. It's not going to really do him very much good. But if he rolls out, he could get if he can get ahead of a discard roll, then he could at least use the card that would have been discarded as a reroll if need be. See, there's the discard now. Now he doesn't have an opportunity to reroll on Fennec. So
Yeah, mill games are so often won by just one extra reroll.
oh yeah, oh yeah. See, it's a word to the wise is that you always have to be paying very close attention to your sequencing here. And he's okay. That's an interesting choice.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, it's he hasn't. No, he's already used his psi action, so he can't even.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess he could use the figure power action on a Fennec die, so that's fine.
Yeah, I
But
guess we did that.
yeah, now he did lose his reroll then. But he did get a focus, so maybe I mean if he can monster roll like before, but then he would have been able to reroll that +2. All right, dude. I guess you can always use the +2 on the Relby. Well, I mean that's not bad. Like that's gonna. Well, he's got a. So Rando has a battle tactics in his hand and the hold the line, both of which are online. He can remove a dice, so he's not gonna lose Leia more than likely this turn, since he can even overwrite the utility belt if he wants to. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's still probably looking favorable to Darteo at this moment, but it's not out of the woods yet. He's got to sequence this right. He's got to focus the Relby. Discard a card. Actually, this is an interesting point here to be made. Rando has the opportunity to remove a die right now. The battle tactics is actually what he should be playing, because that has ambush. So he can play battle tactics, then hold the line to remove 2 dice, then overwrite the utility belt with the Lola on his next action. But what does he remove? He has to remove a damage. And then I think you might actually choose to remove the focus, because then he won't be able to focus into the Relby and then use the the +2 die.
Yeah, he also has the Fennec action to potentially reroll the.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. So, So then maybe I guess with that in mind, then do you what do you preemptively do here? Huh. Like, do you remove both of the ones? No, because then you still have to deal with the focus.
I don't know. The easiest one is probably just focus and +2.
Yeah, I think I'm still leaning towards you remove the +2, you remove the focus, and then force the reroll out of the Relby before to get something out of it, even though it's what 50%, like 2+ damage. But if you are Darteo, then like the other thing he's gonna probably want to do here. Okay, there's the +2 going. Darteo's got to use that discard like immediately. Get rid of that final card. Yeah. Let's see if he does it. He's fortunate he rolled into the discard. There's not just a lot of that. Hey, look. Hey, he hits the way we think.
Do it.
Do it. Do the discard. Do the discard, kid. Yeah. Okay. So now Mando has nothing he can do, so he's going to claim. He'll draw a card. Okay. So, excuse me. Now he can. Yep. Power action for the Relby. Oh, worst possible scenario. Hits the blank again.
I think he can power action itself, right?
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he could. I can't tell him that unless he asks, but
yeah.
But okay, does he? Okay, well. Okay, they're realizing that that's not something that can be done since it's already in the pool.
Yeah, but if he uses it on itself.
What is he doing? Okay. When he's saying no, he's saying that. Let's see if he realizes that he can take the same die out of the pool. Can I tell? I don't think I can tell him at this point. Is he thinking?
Yeah, probably best not to.
Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't think I'm permitted to, really. Okay, is he going to type? And he's typing. He's typing. See what he says. He's typing. Okay. Come on now. Yep, he asked the question. Can you remove? Yes, you can. He figured it out. Good.
There we go.
Good man. Good man.
He deserves the +3.
Oh, and he rolls it into the blank again. That's how I feel. More often. Now let's see if he realizes that he should be. Nope, he doesn't realize that he can he can power action.
He did.
Oh, he
just
did.
didn't remove it.
Oh, he just didn't remove it. Okay. Okay. Took 3 damage. Yep. Okay, so yeah, Leia's on 8, so 4 health left. 10 health total on Greaves if you count the 2 shields. Oh, he is running Tuscan Camps in his deck. Okay. That is Darteo. On the other side of the table, we have multiple removal actions again in different battle tactics and electroshock and fastest hunk of junk. Huh. Fastest hunk of
That's a
junk.
really weird include.
Why? Because it actually works perfectly with Anakin's pod racer.
It does, but you have to actually get the pod racer out.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think is he running it as a 2 of or a 1 of? I don't know. But
I imagine a 2 of.
I mean, well, here's why he's doing it. It's because it's a 1 cost. Like he's in the Grease deck, so he needs the 1 cost.
They're probably better 1 cost for it.
I mean, maybe, but he's also running Indifferent. So if he's running things like Indifferent, even though his only neutral is a 7 health Figrin Dan, I think he's probably running out of options. All right, so let's see what he decides to do this time around. He's gonna put the charm token on Psy, and let's see if come on, just power action Snice Noodles. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. No, don't. What are you doing, brother? Oh.
The way he wins this turn, Random Mando, that is if he gets that power action off. So you have to stop him from doing it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Wow. Okay.
Ah.
Man, you're. I mean, oh, that could have been there without. That could have been the die out there without this happening. Boom!
Oh!
Boom!
And now he's regretting it.
And now he's regretting it big time.
Probably, I think that's the game right there.
Yeah. Wow, that is probably game. So what he lost there, and he lost 4 cards. So that was how many cards were in there? He probably had. He only had maybe a couple cards left, but man, that was devastating.
I think he had 5.
So he lost. So the Virus Sword was the only thing that could have popped and done that. Yeah, that's probably.
If he had a 2 or greater, he would have gotten the other 2 with the pod racer. But
yeah, still, that was not a needed. Off the top discard there. Bam. And what can he do to that? Nothing, because he can't even use the smash. So he has no thing. So yeah, it was. So he's gonna.
He can't sigh.
Yeah. Yep. He's gonna psi action on one of those. So that's pretty good for him. Okay. Oof. So that is still showing 3 discard out of 5 that he needs. He's got to focus. Yeah. So he just needs a decent reroll here.
Ooh.
Wow. Once again, man, he is just threatening left and right here. But there's the battle tactics to take care of the 3. I don't think... Does that even really matter? Maybe it does. Oh, I guess it does because you could do the reroll action. Hits 3 discard out of it. Okay. He can't even use... He's got an electroshock here that he can help out, but the indifference now gone. Like, he can't actually do anything with that. The fastest hunk of junk is dead because that can only be used when you activate the vehicle. The fact that he...
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's only got 1 resource, so that's the electroshock and that's it, but... Does 2 damage to Leia. He's got to remove the 2 damage here, or else Leia's gone. He really needs to do it.
He can take 2 shields with the pod racer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But he probably doesn't want to do that because he wants to get it to a discard side.
Yeah. I mean, he'd much rather, like, at this point, you know, Darteo kind of has to reroll here if he's going to, you know, take him out. But, like, that's putting himself at huge risk.
He has a couple things he can do. He can Railby power action, and he can Fennec power action.
Yep. Goes for the discard. I mean, obviously, it doesn't really matter. Okay, here is the reroll. Hits 1 discard. That's probably game, folks. The focus on the utility belt can get to the 2nd discard, and he can't do anything. Oh, I guess there's one other thing that can happen. No, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. He has to Relby power action, get out a... Yep. See if he hits damage, and then he can smash.
Yeah.
That's it. Doesn't hit it. That is game. There's the 1 discard.
Yeah, no.
Hey. It's easy. Yeah, there's a 2. Doesn't matter because he's got the discard. And I think that is going to be a good game call. Darteo typing. Yeah, well, yeah, he's pointing it out. It was kept in front of him the whole time. There you go.
Yep.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep. And there's the discard out of cards, and that is it. And actually, like, yeah, like, it didn't matter. Yep. And even trying to even get to the smash might not have mattered in the end anyway, unless Rando would have made a mistake. So congrats to Rando Mando for passing on to the top. Is that the top 8 round? He's going to the top 4 now.
This is top 8.
Yeah. And so, lessons learned from this auspicious occasion. pay attention to your sequencing, and don't forget to charm the living daylights out of the Lady Leia. Well, hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you guys for coming in and observing here. We'll see you next time.